Good afternoon, everybody. I'd really like to welcome all of you to our first annual Shearer Perfection Student Contest. I've been looking forward to this day for a couple of months. This day is really all about you. It's about the students that we have here at the head table. It's about the parents. It's about the teachers. It's about the grandparents, and we could have a conversation for a couple of hours with these kids. They are so bright and so engaging. It's truly wonderful. But the day is really all about you, and I wanted to compliment and thank all of you for coming, because just to see the level of family support from brothers and sisters and moms and dads and grandparents and teachers, it's truly wonderful, and we could really tell in just having lunch with the kids what great families that they have and what great support that they have. So you should give all of yourselves a hand. So how was the plant tour? Bob, I've got to tell you, there are some engineers in this room, and I'm talking about the kids. Ken Brower, who I had called Willy Wonka at the beginning of our tour, he pulled me aside and said, "These kids are asking better questions than some of our customers ask that we bring through the building." So my sense was we could have spent a bit more time there based on how everyone was watching how the packing machine works and how the potatoes are unloaded and peeled. It was amazing to see all of your wheels turning, particularly the students, who not only, I think, enjoyed having some salty snacks, but also being able to ask some questions that were just amazing. So we thought that the tour was a great way to say thank you to all of you for the time and effort that you spent in doing all of the inventions. We have an amazing plant and factory there in Massillon, and it embodies so much about what Shearer's believes in terms of sustainability and being green. So when all of the inventions were submitted, we thought, what better way to show the students our commitment to being green than having them come and walk through the plant and actually see how the concept of being green actually translates to running a business and actually building a plant. It was really interesting, you know, as all of you were arriving, I know I was joking about it, but I felt like we were all holding golden tickets. And we were arriving and we were opening the door and giving you a view of a plant that not many people have seen. I remember one of the grandparents had asked me and said, "So how often do you have just regular folks come through?" And I said, "Never." So it was a very special thing for us to invite you and for you to see a little bit inside the window of how our products are made, but at the same time, how they're made with sensitivity and care toward being kinder to the earth. So what I wanted to do before we get into the award ceremony is give you a little bit of an idea of how we got to where we are today in terms of the contest and the awards, and what caused the Shearer Perfection Student Contest to be created. So, like many things at Shearer's, ideas are spawned based on challenges from Bob. So we had built the plant, and we had a big ceremony, and we had the Secretary of Energy of the United States come and visit it, and we had the Governor of Ohio come to visit it. And after all of that ceremony was done, Bob had made a comment to me and said, "You know, it would really be great if we could utilize all of the energy that was put behind building this plant and our belief in sustainability, and if we could try to educate our youth about being kinder to the earth and being green." So it's important for all of you to know, it's important for me to tell you that the genesis to the Shearer Perfection Student Contest came from sort of a challenge from Bob. So after I woke up in the middle of the night and had this idea that, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we get people to buy tons of bags of Shearer's chips? It's the marketing guy in me, sorry. And then they took the empty bags and worked with their science teachers and created inventions. We could maybe create a contest and they'd be repurposing bags and being green. So we quickly were placed in touch with the National Museum of Education. And if you haven't already met Sue, Gay, and Nick, I would encourage you to. They are such wonderful people, and they have such a passion toward our youth. And they do a lot of contests with companies around the country. And lo and behold, they're right there in our backyard in downtown Akron. So we had some meetings with them, and we talked to them about the idea, and they guided us through it. So I really feel that it's such a team effort of what we've all accomplished today. It's a team effort between Shearer's and the National Museum. The teachers, I want to make sure that I recognize the teachers here as part of this team effort, and how you inspire your students. And also the students, these 4th, 5th, and 6th graders between the ages of 9 and 12. So that's really how this was all created. So basically the way that we did it was we worked with the National Museum to try to connect and contact science teachers throughout the state of Ohio, or principals or PTO groups. We wanted to inform them about the contest. We wanted to challenge them to repurpose the bags and come up with the most creative invention they could in utilizing the empty Shearer's bags. And to try to make it as all-encompassing as possible, we actually created lesson plans for the teachers around sustainability. Because we know the teachers are so busy, and we thought, boy, if we could also create some lesson plans around being kinder to the environment and sustainability, that might also be an added value that we could bring, so they could incorporate it into their lesson plan and also make the experiment be an element to that lesson. So, because we're all capitalists and everybody wants to know where's the money, we thought that we should have some prizes. So we have 3 levels of prizes. We have a grand prize winner who will receive, at maturity, it will be a $5,000 savings bond. So they'll be receiving, or that individual would be receiving a check for $2,500 today. And I won't go into the details around why we didn't actually present you with bonds, but the government has changed the whole process, and we'll be able to work with all of you to make sure that you can set up an account to deposit the money so that at maturity it is $5,000. The runner-up is a $2,500 savings bond at maturity, and third prize is a $1,000 savings bond. And the grand prize winning teacher wins a $500 gift card. So there's the money. Okay, so there's a lot more thought that goes into this than you might think. Gay and I were actually talking about a week ago, and she had said, boy, did you ever think all of this work would go into putting together a contest for students? So we really had to create criteria. We received all of these inventions. How are we going to judge them? I just thought it'd be important for just a minute to let you know the types of criteria that we looked at all of the inventions that we received from around the state. So number 1, the use of Shearer's materials. And if you saw any of the kids taking pictures, as a marketing guy, seeing the Shearer's logo everywhere was kind of a dream. So the use of Shearer's materials and repurposing them was really the genesis toward the idea of the whole contest. So utilizing our materials as part of the project was key. How creative is it? How does it solve a problem? And from these finalists, you will see how they solved problems. Is the invention marketable? Is it something that is a twist on something that doesn't currently exist? How unique is it? Also, artistic value was important too. You'll see that some of the finalists were very science-focused, but some of them were also very artistic-focused. We wanted to make sure that we had a balance, and we're recognizing not only science but art. But also, it's kind of interesting. I was actually talking to Olivia, and we were talking about how artistic her project was. But then when I asked her what her favorite topic was, she said science. So they're all interrelated. It's fascinating. Okay, so we received lots of entries from as far away as Cincinnati and as remote as Put-in-Bay. We were told that the creativity of the students would amaze us, but we really didn't know until we received all of the inventions of what amazing ideas that the kids came up with. So if you entered the contest and you didn't become a semifinalist or a finalist, everyone received a letter signed from Bob thanking them for participating. And also, we gave them a certificate that they could put up on the wall of their school or their room, and also some coupons for Shearer's product. I'm sorry, also the teachers received a certificate as well, thanking them for inspiring the creativity of their students in submitting the inventions. Thank you, teachers. I know that it's talked about a lot, but I don't think it's talked about enough about how valued you are and how you inspire the creativity of our kids, and sometimes how I feel like you're not as appreciated as you should be out there. So I wanted to make sure that I recognized the work of all the teachers. I think we should also give them a round of applause. Okay, this cast of characters that are the judges. I wanted to also recognize them. Some of them are here, like Melissa. Others aren't because of traveling out of the country, being in Germany. But I wanted you to know that there was a cross-section of folks from both Shearer's and the National Museum that we sat in a room for a couple of hours away from the office, and we had a blast. We had a blast playing with the toys, watching the videos, just seeing how the wheels were turning with each one of the students. What I'd like to do is I'd like to ask each one of the 5 finalists and their teachers to come up on stage and have a seat, maybe near your invention. Pardon me. I'm sorry, kids are in front, teachers are in back. And we can start the process. The drama builds. So just so you guys know, we thought it would be great if we spent a couple of minutes before we got to the awards and just showcased each one of the inventions and gave the kids an opportunity for them to shine in the spotlight regarding what they came up with. So here goes. We're going to start with Olivia. Olivia's a 6th grader. She's from Mantua, Ohio, from Crestwood Middle School. And she created Shearer's hair bows. She actually has them here, but we also have her video that as soon as I go to the next slide, it will launch her video presentation. It's a silent movie, but it's very powerful. And then I'd like to say a few words about Olivia as well as everybody's invention. So here goes. That one was a silent video. Now, I've heard from Olivia at lunch that her assistant wants residual sales from the invention. But I will tell you, and I'll comment on each one, I'll comment on behalf of the judges, we were so impressed with the artistic value of this invention. I have 2 daughters, and they want to buy that at Claire's. They want to find that and wear them. And we were very impressed with not only how intricate and beautiful they were, and how they utilized the empty Shearer's bags, but just the sheer artistic nature of it. So thank you, Olivia. That was awesome. Okay. The second invention is Christopher. Christopher's from Westlake, Ohio. He's a 4th grader. His teacher is Brandy Killinger, and he created the reusable, recyclable rug. So if I could paraphrase Christopher's video, come in from the rain or the mud and dry your feet on this reusable, recyclable rug. To clean it, simply run it underwater. So as you'll see, Christopher cut up empty Shearer's bags and created a recyclable rug. Actually, could you stand up and hold it up? That's a great idea, Bob. At the same time, I'll play the video.
Hi, my name is Christopher Haddad, and I created the reusable, recyclable rug. I made it because it's made out of chip bags, and if you wanted to throw a chip bag away, you would just take some chip bags instead of throwing it away, then make a rug. If you don't want muddy tracks in your house, you could just wipe it. You could just wipe your feet on it. I made it from one big chip bag right here, and then I punched holes in it. So, and then I cut different chip bags into strips and then tied them on the holes. To use it, you wipe your feet on it like this. So the mud goes off your shoes and onto the mat. And if it gets too dirty and muddy, all you have to do is take it to the sink and wash it off instead of to pay money for someone else to do it. Thank you for choosing me to be in the top 10. I hope to see some comments from you.
Christopher, thanks for your submission. I can just speak on part of the judges. It was an incredibly colorful submission, invention. If you think about all of the materials and chemicals that are made to manufacture a rug, think about how sustainable that is and how it helps solve a problem and being kinder to the earth. So we were very impressed with Christopher's entry as well. So great job. I'd like to introduce Martin to you. Martin's a 5th grader from Euclid, Ohio. His teacher is Tracy Davis, and Martin created the survival poncho. So Martin, if you don't mind, I not only would like you to stand up and hold it, but also put it on, because it's quite the Shearer's logo extravaganza. So it sounds a little bit like an infomercial you'd see at 2 o'clock in the morning, but it is a rain slicker, a warmth retainer, and also a microwave in one. So let's play Martin's video.
Hi, I am Martin Heedy, the inventor of the survival poncho. The survival poncho uses most of the bag's properties to be a true survival device. I came up with the idea by trying to think of some of the Shearer's bag's properties. First I realized it was waterproof. I thought this would make a great poncho when it is raining. When turning the poncho inside out, I realized it could reflect the sunlight off of you to keep you cool on a hot, sunny day. Because of the silver side, it can also be used as a solar oven. The sunlight will be reflected off of the hood and concentrated in the middle, which would make heat, which would cook the food. Another benefit of the silver side is it reflects sunlight, so it can be used to signal someone if you are lost. In extreme conditions, it can be used as a roof for a shelter. In making the survival poncho, I cut open 6 Shearer's bags and made a 3-bag by 2-bag rectangle. I measured the circumference of my head, which was about 20 inches. I divided 20 by 2 and made 2 perpendicular lines that intersected in the middle of the poncho. I drew the diagonal lines connecting the ends of the perpendicular lines. I cut along these diagonal lines to make the hole for the head. I took a 7th bag and cut it open. I measured the middle of the bag and cut a line down the middle. I had to experiment with the length of this line before getting it right. The 2 opposite sides were overlapped to make a 3-dimensional hood. I attached the hood, and I am now ready for any extreme survival situation.
I like how Martin put the poncho back on to close the sale at the end of the presentation. There's future salesman there. Martin, we were very impressed with your submission, not only because it utilized the empty Shearer's bags, but as you can see, the amount of thought and math and science that went into creating it. If you take a look at the criteria, that was part of what we were seeking or looking for, and we definitely found it in Martin's submission, so congratulations. And how about the presentation skills for these folks, huh? Is that something else? I'd like to introduce Evan. Evan's a 6th grader. Actually, I learned that he's 12 years old now. When he submitted his entry, he was 11. He's from Cincinnati. He's from Norwood. His teacher is Catherine LeBlond, and he has created the Shearer's Bottle Bowl. So I don't want to steal Evan's video's thunder, but just think about if you've ever had your favorite soft drink and your salty snacks, and you're headed upstairs or downstairs and you tripped. And what happened to the chips or the drink? I think Evan's come up with a creative solution.
Hello, I'm Evan Horsley, and my invention is the bottle bowl. Now, how I came up with this was I was carrying my snack and drink and a few other items down the stairs at night, and when I almost dropped everything. So I thought, what if I could have my favorite 20-ounce drink and my snack in the same hand and have a free hand for the things I was carrying. So basically, this has a chip bag around the side, but the reason that there is poster board on the inside is because the bag would not keep its shape, so I figured it could be stronger, and all you have to do is get your favorite 20-ounce drink, and then if this was to be distributed, you could possibly make it out of an injection molding, and then like slide it over the top. This would be great for parties, movies, sports, or even just walking around the house. So thank you for watching. I'm Evan Horsley, and my invention is the bottle bowl.
Thanks, Evan. That drama music, we needed a tissue, to wipe our to wipe our eyes before and after. Part of the criteria of the contest, too, was taking an idea that hadn't been invented yet and combining the drink with the chips. Imagine possibly seeing that in a movie theater. Actually, during lunch, Bob was already figuring out ways to commercialize every single one of these inventions. So we'll be calling our patent lawyer. I'd like to also introduce Benjamin. Benjamin's in the 4th grade, and he's also from Westlake. Actually, Christopher and Benjamin are both from Westlake, but they're from different schools. But Brandy is the teacher as well. So congratulations to Brandy, having 2 entries in the top 5. Benjamin created the chip kite. So without further ado.
Hello, I'm Ben Routhier, maker of the chip bag kite. I made this chip bag kite because I figured that a chip bag would be lightweight and easy to fly. My original idea was to make a windsock, but I didn't think I thought that would be too easy and not as fun. So I decided to make a kite. In this kite, I only used Shearer's chip bags, a little plastic for the handle, kite string, and tape. To make these kite poles, I folded chip bags in half as many times as possible to make them very strong. To make this sail, I made a perfect paper diamond and attached a chip bag to it. I cut and glued chip bags pieces onto it to make a perfect diamond. To make the tail, I cut the chip bag into strips and taped them together. For the bows, I cut chip bags into fractions and folded them into these shapes. Okay. It's not the windiest day, but I'm still going to demonstrate with this. I would really like to thank you for selecting me as a semi-finalist and for your time thinking about this. Bye.
Well, I think we know why Benjamin is so skinny. He's obviously the most physically fit of our finalists because he's running around with the chip bag kite. But thank you for your entry, Benjamin. Just the sheer thought that went into and the detail in putting together the kite, and also just the demonstration and the persistence in making sure that that kite flew impressed the judges. So let's just have a round of applause for all 5 of our finalists and their teachers. Okay, so let's get into it. I'd like to take the opportunity now to announce the winners of our first annual Shearer Perfection Student Contest. Oh, before I start, I've got to talk about this cast of characters, these judges. They're really, really great in coming up with a group of finalists, but they had a really hard time coming up with the top 3. So I think we came up with a solution. We couldn't decide on a single third-place winner, so we have 3 third-place winners today. So all 5 of the students will be receiving a prize today because we were so impressed with their entries. We also equally were impressed with the teachers. So each one of the teachers will be receiving a prize as well. Thank you, judges. So that means we have 3 third-place winners to announce, a runner-up, and a grand prize winner. So let's do it. Okay, when I announce your name, what I'd like to have is both the student and the teacher come up. I'd like to present each finalist with a certificate as well as their check. I also have a gift card for each one of the teachers. And if you would like, if you feel comfortable, we've also given you an opportunity to say a few words if you'd like. Okay? You guys ready? They look ready. Okay, our first third-place winner is Christopher Haddad. And Brandy Killinger. I'm sorry? Oh, yes, I will. Congratulations. Congratulations, great job. Okay. Just want to make sure everyone sees what they're receiving. They're receiving a certificate as well as a savings bond, and the teacher will be receiving a gift card. It looked so easy when you guys did it. Why don't I pop you over here so everybody can see, okay? Do you want me to hold it or do you want to?
Dear National Museum of Education and Shearer Food Incorporated, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. I am honored to participate in this contest and to have made it into the top 5 finalists. I would also like to thank my teacher, Mrs. Killinger, for all her help. Also, I would like to thank God and my family for all their support, my dad, my mom, and my sister. Being a part of this contest taught me that I could be more creative than I ever thought. Thank you for choosing me. Christopher Haddad.
Congratulations, Christopher. Brandy, if I remember correctly, you're up here a second time, so your gift card we'll get it for you in a second. Christopher, you forgot your certificate. And the cash. Melissa just mentioned something really important that I wanted to let you know. We're going to go through all of the finalists and the awards, and then after we're done, we'll make sure that we have all of the necessary time for us to get every single picture that the moms and dads and the grandparents want to get of all the kids, okay? Okay, our second, third place winner, Olivia Fowler. And her teacher, Sarah Isler.
Hi, I'm Olivia Fowler, and by using empty Shearer's chip bags, I've created hair bows. Being a part of the Shearer Perfection Student Contest has been very exciting for me and my family. I would like to thank my mom for staying up with me and helping me to make them. Also, I would like to thank my teacher and mentor, Mrs. Eisler, for introducing and helping me with this contest. Especially thanks to the Shearer family for having this contest. And finally, thank you to the National Museum of Education for contributing to this amazing opportunity. I had a lot of fun trying to come up with ideas for my invention.
Congratulations. Okay, our third prize winner is Benjamin Routhier. And Brandy Killinger. My gosh, it's a lot to do.
First of all, I want to thank the Shearer Company. I had fun inventing something, and I wanted some money for college. There were 4 kids in my family. My mom hardly ever buys name brand chips. Now she buys the good chips because of this contest, and we love them. I also have to thank the National Museum of Education for running programs like this. They let young inventors like me think of new things to make life better. Next, I want to thank my teacher, Mrs. Killinger, for finding this cool contest for the kids in her class to enter. She let us think of things all by ourselves and encouraged us to be creative. Then there was my dad. He did not help me think of an idea. He helped eat chips. My dad loves chips. And that gave me more bags to work with. Finally, I have to thank my mom. When I finished making my kite, I was home with a fever. I really wanted to test it to see if it would fly. The backyard was muddy because it had just rained. I convinced my mom to run back and forth through the mud. I had to give her lots of tips, but eventually she got better at it. My kite worked, my dad got chips, and my mom got exercise. So it all worked out in the end. Thanks again, everybody.
After we're done, you guys, Ben will be doing another set. Congratulations, Ben. Okay, our runner-up. Martin Heaty. And Tracy Davis is teacher.
Hello, I am Martin Heaty. I am so honored to be here today and want to thank all the people that made this possible. To my mom and dad, thank you for supporting my project by buying me 7 large bags of Shearer's potato chips. By the way, my favorite is barbecue. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for always helping me and encouraging me to try hard and do my best. By the way, I think I got my creative gene from both of you. My mom is a wonderful artist and my dad is a great architect. To my teachers, Mrs. Mulhall and Mrs. Davis, thank you for always challenging me to solve problems in a creative way and for teaching me to use science, technology, engineering, and math principles. When I was designing my survival poncho, I thought about the properties of the Shearer's bags and used a STEM program to develop my idea. And a big thank you to Shearer's for supporting education while promoting repurposing and recycling. This encourages kids like me to keep inventing and thinking creatively. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Shearer's, for giving us a tour of your building, for organizing a great awards ceremony, and most of all, making delicious chips.
Congratulations, Martin. Well, I guess we know who the grand prize winner is. Evan Horsley. And his teacher, Catherine Laban.
This is a true honor. I would like to thank my mom and my dad for supporting me and holding me to the highest expectations, because without them I would not be here. I owe a big thank you to my ATP teacher, Mrs. Seaver, for encouraging me to do my very best and entering me into this contest. I would also like to thank the National Museum of Education and Shearer's Potato Chip Company, especially the Shearer's family, along with Jeff, Ben, Check, and Michael Bull for putting on this contest and giving young inventors like myself the opportunity to show their talents. Thank you again. This has truly been an honor. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of the day.
They only had $100 gift cards, so you're gonna have to deal. Congratulations, Evan.
Thank you.
Before we conclude, I wanted to give the National Museum of Education and also Bob Shearer an opportunity to say a few words. So, Nick, if you'd like to pop up, we'd love to hear from you.
Well, I think this was a great day, and we saw a lot of great creativity, without a doubt. And I'm very proud of all of you. You really did a great job, and your presentations were fantastic, I'll tell you. First of all, I'd like to thank Shears Corporation for sponsoring this great competition. And also, I'd like to thank Shears for being also inventive and innovative, which I think was evident in your tour of their new building, which is fantastic. Also, there are two people. Without them, we'd have had a hard time putting all this together. Gay Evans, if you'll stand up, and Jeff. These two did a lot of work putting together the details of getting all this to happen. And of course, the Shears team, Melissa, I know you were behind a lot of getting things together too, and Bob, and we really appreciate that. The students that won, I mean, it's just magnificent that you took and repurposed these bags into some really great ideas. I would think, next time you think about this, next time you look at a bag, you'll never look at it the same way again. That's the truth. And what a wonderful job. And the teachers, I applaud you for inspiring these young people. This is the future of this country. And innovation, invention has fueled this country from the beginning, and I think it still will. Thank you.
Bob, you want to come up?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody from our company for all the hard work they did putting this together. Did a great job. And that speaks a lot about the culture of our company. But I observed not only today, I believe that the projects were outstanding, but to me it went a little bit beyond the projects. First of all, as I was sitting there with the 5 finalists, I think in some cases I find when I talk with adults, they're intimidated because of my position at our company. And I was able to sit with these 5 finalists today, and not one of them was intimidated. I was so impressed with that. The questions that I asked, and I have a lot of friends who are in education, and I think the educators take a bum rap. Things that I hear about, our education system, but when I see these 4 great teachers and the devotion they have, that speaks volumes. So they deserve a round of applause. But it was interesting to me because one of the questions as I asked the finalists today, I asked them, I said, what differentiates you from maybe a student who doesn't do well in class? Because I think that, I see the people that teach our kids today, and they're great people. And I see some of the kids that we employ at our company are great kids, and I see some that aren't. And there's a reason somewhere. So I asked these 5 finalists today, I said, what is the difference between, you guys, who I'm sure are all top students, and someone who's not? And I thought their answer was very interesting. And it was twofold. I got 2 ideas from them. One was about the passion that we have to study and that we have to learn. And I agree with that. I don't care what you do. Passion is the #1 key element to success. Number 2, and this is where I believe very strongly the difference lies between our good students and our not so good students, and it was the home life, it was the parents that they contributed that to. So I'm a firm believer that myself, I've always felt that was what the difference was, but to sit here and hear these 4th, 5th, and 6th graders tell me that, I was most impressed with that. The last thing that I was impressed with was when Evan went back from receiving his award. The first thing, Martin was up shaking his hand, Benjamin and Christopher and Olivia, and that's good. That's good for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. That's pretty good. So I think they're all to be commended, the parents, the teachers, and the museum. You guys are great. And at this point, I think, Jeff, we need to make this bigger and better for next year. So thank you all for coming.
Thanks, Bob and Nick. Just a couple of closing comments. Once again, I know some of you came a very long way to come, and I appreciate the commitment and the investment of time that you made to come here. I just ask one favor. We were told by the National Museum that we really had a good start in year 1. But we would like this to be an annual contest. And I would like nothing better than to spend not 1 day, but 1 week having to examine all of the entries that we receive from around the state, maybe at some point from around the country. And I think that all of you can help us in that regard. Word travels fast, especially within the network of schools, boards of education, PTOs, teachers, science teachers. Even the kids talking among themselves what they did this weekend. I would encourage all of you to talk it up. Let everyone know about what you did this weekend, about the experience that you had if you felt that it was positive, and let everyone know about the Shearer Perfection Student Contest, because we would like to do it again and do it in multiple years, and we'd love to have hundreds, thousands of entries to go through, because to Bob's point, that means that we're engaging our children and our students to think creatively, and you have some potential entrepreneurs here. It's part of the reason why going through that factory, we saw the wheels turning, almost having to grab some of them by the shoulder in order to get them away from the packing machine because you've been there for 10 minutes. But I think just talking it up and encouraging others to learn about it, and we will work with the National Museum in order to work through their network through the science teachers as well. But that would be just one request that I have. So thanks for coming. We will assemble everyone up here and get the necessary pictures that we need to get. I think that's it. Thanks.